I can see. So thank you for letting me have this minute with you. As you know, I know Mario. We were coworkers like 2 years ago. I was an RA also, but right now I'm in a counseling class for my master's program. So you know who I am, kind of thing. So you don't
Yeah.
freak out about like, oh, who this
Yeah,
person is
yeah.
and that stuff. So just a little bit myself. Uh, I'm currently working as first year success coach in Pasadena City College.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going through my second year program in as a Pacific University
Mm-hmm.
as on my program for college counseling and student development.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mario also mentioned, probably I was an RA here,
Yeah.
but not here in Hillside. I was an RA in
Yeah.
Beachside and Parkside. But yeah, that's a little bit about myself. So if it's okay if we just jump into our meeting.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, cool. So let's just start. How's your day going? How's your day today?
It's been okay. It's been kind of, I don't know, it started pretty early. I had to actually, RA interviews for the next staff were being held on Monday. So today I was scheduled to help at 8 a.m. And I didn't know that I was scheduled to help at 8 a.m. until like really late last night. So I got like 2 hours of sleep, so I was really exhausted.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you forgot that you had the RE interviews because you just forgot that you put your name in, or you just forgot to check your schedule or something like that?
Honestly, I just I forgot to check because I knew I was scheduled for pretty early, but I assumed it was actually 9, not 8. So I woke up at 8:20, which is like not horrible. I still made it like recent like pretty early, but it was still kind of like ugh.
Oh
it just
my
sucked because
Okay.
I found out I was like, oh shoot, I messed up. But because when I found out late at night, I found out that I had to show up at I thought it was 9. I thought I worked 9 to 12,
Mm-hmm.
and then I wake up and then I get there and they're like, oh, where were you? And I was like, what do you mean?
Wow.
Yeah, but it wasn't a big deal because it wasn't even that busy. So
Okay.
yeah, and there was someone else that was supposed to work with me, but she was late too.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
both of you were.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you just got 2 hours of sleep. Is that like a
Yeah.
normal thing that you get, or is it just today because you had to wake up, or?
Yeah, no, I try not to. I've actually been trying to get like at least 7, like 6 to 7 hours.
Good.
But yeah, I've really tried to be like working on that because last semester I would sleep like 2 hours like all the time, and it really like definitely like led to like negative health and like mental health like consequences. So I try to get as much sleep as I can. Yeah.
Is this your first, second, or third year working in this position?
Oh yeah, no. So I'm 3rd year college student, so I should know better by now. But I'm a 2nd year RA, so I should also know better by now.
I mean,
But,
you mentioned earlier that last year you had 2-3 hours like more constantly. That now you're trying to like. So you have learned.
Yeah.
You have like.
Thank
your
you.
lesson.
Yes, thank you.
So how were their interviews?
Okay, yeah, this is kind of weird because in the past years, as I'm sure you know, like RAs have a bigger role in hiring people, but this year we like didn't have like we were just literally just letting people like check in, giving them a name tag, and then they go to the interview. That's all we did.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it kind of like sucked, to be honest, because it kind of felt like we were like useless. I was like, why are we here? Like, we don't really need to be here. But it was still kind of cool to see some of the like people that were applying, and I did get to help out with like a small part because one of the girls who was interviewing, part of the group interview, she needed a partner, and she didn't have anybody. Nobody was scheduled, so I acted as her like partner. Yeah, so I was like a fake interviewee. That was really fun, but I wish I could have done more of that, you know.
Okay, were you last year involved in the hiring process as well?
Yes, I was. Yeah, I was involved. It was a lot more like hands-on. Like we were like interviewing / critiquing like a group of like 5 people or so.
Okay.
And then which just felt more like we had like a part in it, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you feel like you were not only late, but also you were like, you didn't
why
you've been there kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like why did I kind of freak out about it when I could have gotten more sleep, you know? Like, why did I come to this thing when I clearly wasn't even needed?
Okay.
Like, both me and the other RA who showed up, like, we didn't do anything. I fortunately was able to work on like homework though, so it was okay. It was okay.
It was useful, yeah.
Yeah, it was okay.
But this feelings of like frustration and like the idea of like you not being helpful, did you communicate that to your like supervisor or like another RA to like make sure that you were not the only one feeling that way or something like that?
Yeah, I feel like the RAs kind of have a pretty shared mindset for a lot of like housing stuff, but no, I don't think I'll say anything to my supervisor.
Is there a reason why you wouldn't?
Yeah, I don't think it's I kind of don't want to like stand out as like a problem employee. I would rather just like, cause like it's not a big deal for me. It's just like whatever. I don't really mind too much, but I don't wanna be on like anyone's radar because I'm complaining about something that isn't that important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, the way you like phrasing it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed as in, you're a little bit afraid of your supervisor in a sense.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Not my direct supervisor, but more so the higher ups.
The higher up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there? Do you mind elaborating? Why is that? Have you seen before like someone get on the radar, like get in trouble or something like that, or just you rather, I don't know, step behind scenes or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll elaborate a little bit. It's definitely more strict this year, and a lot more RAs are getting into trouble for things that like aren't that too big of a deal. Whether that's like being slightly late to like a service center shift, like where you work in the office. Yeah, you know, or whether it's like little things that you're like, oh, okay, like just don't fuck up again, but then it's like no, like serious consequences follow that you weren't really expecting. Again, not my direct. I'm really grateful for like my direct bosses, because as you know, there's so many levels to housing, so it's kind of complicated because it's not my boss, but it is like
the boss of
the boss of the boss of the boss
exactly.
of the boss. So I love my boss and I love my boss's boss, but when it goes higher up the ladder, that's where I'm kind of like, I'm gonna be quiet and I don't wanna. Yeah, so I'm really fortunate because my direct boss, which is Patrick, as you know, I am actually able to share a lot of like how I feel with him. Okay. And I feel like that's probably why I haven't gone insane this year. Okay. Because I tell him a lot of like what's bothering me, and he's been really helpful. Okay,
so you have at least someone and like not higher up, like a supervisor or a mentor kind of thing, where you can actually like tell how you feel about the job and all that stuff. Yeah. And how's your reaction? Like, do you see that he's like taking action, or he's like a good listener, or do you feel like it's the complete opposite?
He's been, at first I was a little like unsure. I was kind of testing the waters because I don't know him, and I was like, I don't know how much I can say. So I was trying to be careful, but no, he's been like really understanding, and he was actually an RA too. So that's really interesting because I think he understands a lot more about like what we're doing. So I think he's able to sympathize in like a lot of levels with what I'm saying. So he's like, yeah, like I understand, but like you should do this and that. You know, he's been really helpful. So yeah.
Is there like a way that the supervisor, the ones that you are afraid of, and I'm putting that in quotations because I don't know the exact feeling, can do for you to like feel less intimidated by them? Do you see them as in like too much of a power, or like they're not as involved, or a suggestion that you think it could be like ideally for like future generations of RAs to like feel the same way as you do?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like it's kind of complicated because I feel like this job is so, housing in general is such a weird like job because you're working with like things, people and events and all this stuff like 24/7. Like you don't just clock in, clock out. Correct. But then for a lot of the higher ups, it is just a clock in, clock out job, and a lot of the employees are just numbers. So they're not staying here 24/7 dealing with the residents like 24/7. Correct. They're just dealing with paperwork, and then to them, more people are, and people's emotions are, you know, what's the word, like you know what I mean, like you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And so I feel like it's like a very like deep rooted issue that I don't think can like, I honestly don't think it can be solved with like temporary shallow solutions such as like, oh, we'll do like icebreakers, or like we'll have like meetings to talk about it, because I know they try to do stuff like that, but people are too scared to go to those meetings because they don't want to say how they actually feel. So it's like political and kind of weird, but
so this feeling of like intimidation, it goes across all three colleges.
I believe so. I don't mean to speak for everybody else, but
at least the atmosphere that you can like sense.
From what I've heard, people I've talked to, from what I've seen, not to sound so negative, because there's so many positives to this job that make up for it. Like I feel like I've been such a downer, but
do you want to share some of the positives?
Yes, I do. No, I do. No, one of the positives actually, like I've been able to get, so I've just applied for the BFA in graphic design, which has been so crazy and so much work. And as a result, I haven't been like super present in my hall, which is like kind of sad because like last year I felt like I was a lot more connected.
Okay.
However, after I applied, which was October 20th, so since then I've been working on it, I feel like I've gotten to know like so much more of them, and like a lot of them are coming into my room more often and like texting me, and like it feels more like this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and like this is why I have this job, and like this is like what at the end of the day, like okay, the higher ups are so and this and that, but like I love this job, and like that's why I'm here. So like yeah, definitely the residents. Some of my coworkers are fantastic. They're actually really great. So funny, so fun to work with. My boss is actually really good. I'm really grateful for that. Yeah, and also just like the convenience of like having a room to myself, having food, and like can do laundry, and I'm right next to school. I don't have to worry about like commuting and stuff. Like it's all a blessing, to be honest. So yeah.
Are you planning to be a RA for your third time?
I think so. I want to. I think I want to. I think it'd be. I would love to come back. I just don't. I haven't really thought about what college. Cause what college were you at?
I was at Beachside, so I was the transfer center.
Yeah.
Transfer RA, yeah.
See, I've only been at Parkside and Hillside, so I don't know if I should, because I honestly kind of want to go to Beachside.
So you can do all three colleges?
Yeah, I
you
kind of
want to be
go
one
to
of those?
Beachside.
That's nice.
I don't know. Because also, like, I know, like, some of the residents are, like, transfers, right? So they're,
Correct.
like, a little
older
and, like, hopefully
non-traditional,
yeah. So I feel like it might be a little more, like, not easier, but fitting to like my personal, like how I act and how I think, because some of the residents, so the hall I'm living on, my personal hall is all girls, but then the other hall, which I also like co-oversee with my partner, is all guys.
Oh.
Yeah, that can get a little crazy sometimes, and like some of them are really immature, because like a majority of them are freshmen.
Okay.
So they just kind of act like foolish children. So I think it'd be kind of nice to have like I know there's freshmen at Beachside too, but I think it'd be cool to have like a wider, hopefully a little bit. Yeah. So.
And Beachside is smaller. It's the smallest college.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
A little bit less trouble.
Exactly.
We all get floodings in Beachside, by the way. So just
oh
FYI.
God, really?
So you might get the freshman here, but you get the breaking pipes there. So
oh God, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so think about
pros and cons.
Think about the pros and cons, and like talk to the RAs who have been there for at least 1 year or two now, and see what are the main issues that you get there, and then compare to the issues that you can get in Parkside and Hillside, and be like, okay, they want to keep dealing with freshmen or flooding, and like put that in a balance, and then also you have to keep in consideration the idea of like you're no longer gonna be walking distance from your classes like you mentioned earlier. So now you have to take a bus or a shuttle and be like more like time like savvy kind of
which I need to work on.
And like you mentioned earlier that you were late today, so imagine one day you have to turn your project and you're like the shuttle just left, so you have to wait for the bus or the other shuttle or like stuff like that. Because even if you drive, when you drive here, you can only park on the restaurant.
And you still have to take like a shuttle or something.
Exactly. So Beachside has its pros, but also has its cons. So like you have to lay that down there on a table and be like, okay, I want to give this away to get this. Is it worth it? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. So jumping in from like your job kind of thing, which seems like it's not a job, more like a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
It's best life, a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Going to school, you mentioned that you have your BFA?
Yeah. BFA, Bachelor of Fine Arts.
Okay. Do you turn that? When do you turn that in, or do you apply it, or what's the process of it?
Yeah. So to get into the so before you can actually like get a degree in graphic design, or there's other majors too, like illustration and I think painting too. You have to apply with a portfolio to get into the program, and only if you get in, then you can actually have a degree in that major.
Okay.
So if you don't apply to get in, you can get like a Bachelor of Fine Arts, but it would be just fine arts. It wouldn't be in graphic design or in something else. So yeah, that's why like without sounding too like cheesy or cliche, like that has been like my goal since day one, like first getting into this like university. So it's so like mind-blowing that it's finally here.
And you got accepted, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Go.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, I got accepted. Yeah.
Nice. How did that feel when you like got the email, or like
like
you got a letter?
it was
a
an
phone?
email.
It was an email.
It was an email,
Nice.
and it was like surreal. Like it almost felt like fake a little bit. I was kind of like, is this real?
Why is
And it was just like, you know, because like I said, like it's been a goal since day one, and like I think like I don't know. I feel like I was hoping that I would get in, and I did have like I felt kind of good about it. Like, okay, I'll probably get in, but I still like I still had a lot of doubts about it. So I guess like getting it, and I heard from people like, you're gonna get in, don't worry about it. But then I don't know, getting that email was like, it was like, oh, I'm safe, but also like, did that really happen? Am I really safe? Like I was still doubting myself. So now I know it's for sure. But it took like a while.
It took a while. Okay.
Yeah. But
nice.
yeah.
But you're in.
I'm in. I made it. I
and
know.
then you have what? 1 more year, 2 years?
I have. It's a little weird. It's like a year and then a semester.
A semester, correct? Yeah, because I have friends who've done, I think, interior design.
Oh.
One of my friends, and she's like, I'm
Yeah.
graduating, and then she's like, never
Never
mind.
mind.
I got into
Yeah.
the program. It's like
Yeah.
an extra semester.
Yep,
And I was like, hey, you do you.
Yeah.
If that's the goal, that's
super weird.
yeah.
There's actually, it's literally like only one class that you have to take your last semester. It's stupid, to be honest. It's like, oh, can I leave?
But you gotta get that little
Literally,
thing.
I know. So I don't know. It's so
Nice.
annoying. But hopefully by then I'll be like interning somewhere, so I'll just go to school to take that one class and then like, or maybe take a few other classes just to like. I'm kind of excited because I'm not 100% sure, but I was thinking about minoring in printmaking, which is like it's very like hands-on art style of like there's a lot of different ways to do it, but essentially like you can just make multiple prints with paper and like ink and stuff.
Oh wow.
So you can like one of the things you can do is like carve into like limestone. You make like a whole drawing, and then you could just make as many prints as you want.
Oh wow, that's really
It's
cool.
just a lot of crazy stuff, and like you can make a lot of really nice like art with it. So I really want to combine graphic design and like different styles of fine arts. So I think it might be fun. to do
It
that.
probably will. Yeah.
I was like, that or marketing. I'm not that good at math, so.
Have you talked to your like academic counselor about it?
I did. He
Okay.
actually. It's so funny because I was talking to Michael Nunnery. He's like he's not like one of the head people, but he's like he sends like all the emails and stuff. Like he's very like a lot of people know him. He's super cool. I was talking to him and I was telling him about that and how I kind of wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh well, I minored in it." And I was like,
Wow.
I was like, no, oh my god, that's crazy. And and he was just like telling me about the process and stuff. And he was like, honestly, like it was a lot of fun. So yeah, I did talk to my counselor. Some of the other ones are a little useless, but I actually have a friend. Sometimes they really are like they don't really know like the classes and stuff. Like some of them have really like almost messed me up when I was registering. Yeah. So I kind of just do it on my own now, and luckily one of my friends is really good with like scheduling stuff, so she helped me figure out like the rest of my, I almost said career, college.
Your semester by semester.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that semester by semester plan that you made with your friend, did you make sure that your that person that you visited like went through and be like, okay,
Yes.
it's okay, like check.
I showed that to the counselor.
Okay, good.
You know.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes, thank you.
Because sometimes your friends, because they're friends, they know some stuff,
Right,
and sometimes they know stuff, but it's better to like have like a professional like checked in kind of thing.
Yeah, no. She was like, by the way, just get this checked just to be 100% sure. So I was like, oh, I really appreciate you telling me that. So
That's so nice. That's so nice for your
I
friends.
have good friends.
That's good. I'm glad to
I
hear
hope
that.
so.
What I was going to ask you about how many classes are you taking right now?
Right now, I think I'm taking 15 units.
15 units?
Yeah.
So you have 15 units with like workload and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Plus you have your application due the semester and then being an RA.
Yeah.
So that's work and school.
Yeah.
Now let's go into your social
God.
life. And I want to like put that quick because
Yeah.
been there, done that, I feel like
Right.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Do you have a social life?
Let's be real. I'm gonna say on the weekends I do because I have two really good friends. well, actually, I have my boyfriend and then my best friend, Jesse and Tyler. Jesse's my boyfriend, and we're all really close. And like during the week, we'll like FaceTime and stuff, and like I'll text them when I'm like, I cannot believe this, and like, and so I try to keep up with them that way. But like I'm gonna try more so because you know about being on call, so like you have to stay here and stuff. And being on call for the weekend is even worse because you can't leave for the whole weekend, and it really feels like you're trapped. So I actually just did 2 weekends in a row.
Oh wow.
Wow. So I like told them, I was like, this weekend we're gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna swim. Like we need to get out of here. I'm leaving. Like I need to get out of here just for a little bit. Like I cannot do this. So I try usually like maybe Friday and Sunday or like Saturday, Sunday. I try to like hang out with them, leave for a little bit, or even just like even if they just come over here and we hang out here. But I try to get out of here as much as I can.
So you have someone outside of like, are they Cal State Long Beach students?
They're not.
They're not.
So literally completely
completely
separate. Which is like, I think actually really beneficial for me because I feel like if they were here, it still wouldn't. I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
it feels like you have like a fresh air kind of thing coming your way, and you like
exactly.
It's more or less like, okay, they understand me because they're also students, but they don't like have to go through the same things that I go because they don't deal with Cal State Long Beach.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Rest Life.
Exactly.
Or application.
Oh my God, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. You have someone outside of like all this like craziness, but at the same time, you mentioned that you have like pretty good coworkers, so they actually understand you as a RA, and then your friend who will help you with your semester by semester plan, who will help you with your academics.
And she's a graphic design student too.
So wow. So you have a really good connection with either like of your communities, if I may say. Yeah,
I didn't even I never actually thought about it like that, but yeah, thanks. I feel better about myself. I never thought about it like that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but you could probably relate to like it's really great when you can get to like talk to your coworkers and get along with them, but it's still like most of the conversations tend to be about housing, and it's like if they have to go, it's like, sorry, I have to do this with a resident, or like, sorry, I have to do rounds, and you're just like, dang, like we can really never get away from the job, like. Exactly. So yeah, I mean, one of my friends, Anna, I don't know if you know who she is.
I think so. I think I was in her RA. Yeah.
Because I think it's her 3rd year.
Yeah. I graduated 3 years ago,
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah. But she's probably one of my, like, closest friends, and I think, like, I feel like because I know, like, a lot of the relationships, like being realistic, like, you're probably not gonna know a lot of these people, like, after you all move on. Like, that's just how life is. But I, like, genuinely feel like I'm never gonna forget her. Like, even if we don't keep too much in touch, like, I don't think I'll forget her ever, because like she's been one of like my main like resources or sources of support. Okay. As a coworker, like even as a coworker. As a coworker. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Rest Life gives you, at least in my experience. I cannot talk for anyone else. But when you're in housing, everybody's your best friend. All your RAs, you're super close to everyone because it's like you open the door and then you just walk down the hallway and your best friend is there. Right there, yeah. But then once you graduate, it's like, oh my God, do I really want to drive 30 minutes to hang out? So you like put that into like into consideration. Right. But don't get me wrong, like you will find the best friends of your like what's it called, your life. Like I want to say 2 or 3 of my closest friends are from housing. Wow. One of them is in New York right now. She's doing Rest Life there. That's pretty cool. Wow. I don't think you met her. Well, maybe, I don't know. She was an RA when you were a resident. Her name is Alandra. Maybe. Wait, where was she? Beachside? She was a Beachside too. Oh, so maybe not. Yeah, I kind of only knew Parkside people. Yeah, and then maybe you know this one, Maha. I know Maha. Yes. She's a Parkside. Yeah, Maha. She's right now in Ethiopia, so it's like. Oh shit. So it's like right now it's like miles of distance. But we still keep in touch, and she's already planning coming in January. So she's like, "Oh my gosh, like we should plan this, plan that, kind of thing." So yeah, you can get like maybe when I was in housing, I was best friends with like 10, 15 people. Right. But then like so after housing, it's like, okay, bye. Not bye like deuces, but more or less like I need to be more considerate of my time because I need to worry about like other stuff, which is something that housing helps you right now. Which you should take advantage of that, which is time management skills and how to like manage
school, social life, work, because this is not a job, this is a lifestyle, as I mentioned earlier. Because sometimes you're gonna plan to go with your friends to like to get some boba, but then last minute our resident knocks on the door and be like,
right,
I hate my roommate.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, what do I do right now?
Yeah,
so you have to like deal with that because
Yeah.
that's your job and that's your priority. But also you need that boba time with your friends to be like, oh my gosh, can I believe what just happened this week? And then
Right. You're working right now, right?
Correct.
Where do you work?
I am a success coach for first year students in Pasadena City College.
How do you personally balance? Like, how do you, like, do you have a planner? Like, how do you like to do it?
I do have a planner, like a physical one, and I have an electronic one.
Oh.
So for my electronic one, I use it for like my meetings and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if I show you my phone, well, I'm using it to record. But if I would show you my phone, I schedule myself different, like I create myself like meetings for myself.
Oh.
So like during the day, like for lunch, I actually schedule myself for lunch.
Oh.
So it's like I need my alarm will like
really
I will be like in my computer like answering emails or those and something like that, and it will like just shut down. Be like, okay, lunchtime. Right. And I'll be like, okay, I need to eat lunch. Wow. So like at least to eat lunch. Then I schedule myself like meditation time kind of thing. So just to like walk around the campus like once a week kind of thing for 20 minutes, and my students cannot schedule my meetings or anything like that.
That's so smart.
So that's a different way to like get your time management on, and it's one things that I have struggled this year the most has not looking at my email, because I'll be getting emails from like my students at 2 in the morning, 5 5 in the morning, like super late at night kind of thing, and it's like I need to answer them because I was in their place one time, but I was like, okay, no, I'm not working, I'm not not in the position of like answering kind of thing, and as an RA. That's like the shift that I got. Like if they knocked on my door at 4 in the morning, I had to answer the door. But now if they email me at 4 in the morning, I was like, okay, I will email them at 8:30 in the morning
when I come to work.
Yes. And you have to like put those boundaries between you and the students, which I don't know which field of work do you wanna, if you wanna have like student interaction, or you're gonna like what's like your job search in the future. But if you're gonna have like a lot of one-on-ones with like your coworkers, stuff like that. Keep that in mind, that as an RA, that fine line of like personal and professional, it gets blurry like so this. Blurry, but in the real world, you have to make sure that
it's super.
You have to put it, and like sometimes you can like make it blurry, because with my students sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, like kicking it like during our meeting, but there'll be some students who like they were like, my financial application is like too late, so I have to like be like, okay, let's put that like serious hat kind of thing, but without losing your authenticity and be like still be yourself, because Rest Life will teach you to like, I don't want to say be more outgoing and all that stuff, but in a way it will put you in spots to like not be as shy or like get out of the comfort zone. And be hella diverse sometimes with your like thoughts. Yeah, I
actually like speaking. I'm gonna toot my little horn real quick, but today for the advertising class, we can do a campaign for like whatever we want, and I'm working with these 2 guys, and they've been like pretty good so far. And we were like trying to think of like what we were gonna do, because we could do anything. And I was like, that's way too open ended. I don't know what we're gonna do, and we have to make like a video. We have to make like a public installation and like a series of like print ads and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm like kind of down for whatever, as long as it's not like problematic. And then they were like, let's do like sports or space. I was like, why are guys like this? I was like, I don't want to do either. No, I was like, we could do space. And we like kept talking about it, and I was like, this is kind of boring. Like, we're not really like, what are we gonna talk about? Like, yeah, there's meteorites. Like, what are you gonna advertise? Space. Literally, there's like a lot of space out there. So then I was trying to think a little more like current events, and like something that's a little more like something I'm actually interested in, which I've been talking a lot recently with some residents, actually, interestingly enough. But we've been discussing industrial hemp and that whole industry. So hemp is the plant that's it's like part of the sativa plant. However, like even like I saw your face kind of what is that? Yeah. So hemp can be used to create like the more, I don't want to say negative, but psychedelic, you know, substances such as marijuana and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be, industrial hemp can be used for so many more projects, and not projects, products,
Mm-hmm.
including like clothing, food substitutions, hempcrete, which is like concrete but way better than concrete. It's stronger, it lasts like 100 years. It's better for the environment. It's naturally insect repellent. Like, it's insane how many, and like, look at me already going off. But anyways, so that's our new like project. We're basically decriminalizing the hemp industry. More so industrial hemp, which is separate from marijuana and weed, because that's a whole nother topic that we're not even getting into. We're talking about this as an industrial project that could be taken advantage of, but it isn't. Why? Because of the government. So I went all into that today, and I was just like boom, 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 and I was like presenting, and I like snuck a look at like some of my friends, and they were just like, what? They were like, oh, go off, like they were like cheering me on, and it was such a like, I definitely think like the RA job has like helped a lot with that, like presenting and just being like comfortable with talking.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually excited because I do want to, in the future, I do want to do something with like interacting with people, not students, more so like people my age or older, preferably. But I do want to do a lot. I want to like talk to people and get ideas going and help like build things, you know, for people. So yeah, you just like made me think about that because you're talking about that. So
you already have like a long-term goal kind of thing with your career.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Using your passion and using like utilizing some of the RA skills that you have learned this past few years. Look at you, you know, getting here and there, like that's good. That's good though.
Thank you. I really do want to work something in like the hemp industry, because it's like a whole untapped thing that could really, you know, 1 acre of hemp, like the plant, can produce 4 times more paper than 1 acre of trees. 4 times. Yes, and it's like renewable. It's easier to grow. I don't know about cheaper, but it's also like the roots of the hemp, because it can be, you know, crop rotation, like certain crops you can't rotate at certain times of the year. Hemp is so easy to work with, and like the roots actually benefit other plants too. It's just such an amazing thing, and I don't want your whole video to be about hemp, but it's such an amazing thing.
No, it's fine, because you're like I can see like in your face that you're really passionate about this topic, and like in a way so you're cool. Like you're already connecting the dots between like how this thing that I'm really passionate about, I'm gonna connect it to the career that I want. Yeah. Plus utilizing what you learn as an RA and your connections. Like snaps to you. Yes. That's pretty smart from you. Yeah. Thank you. I really like to see that passion going, because in life you need that, and especially nowadays that like what's it called, our environment is like being like really horribly attacked by us. Kind of thing, like having people like you that it's like thinking of like alternative ways to like create paper, like create all this stuff. I'm pretty impressed. I never heard about this, and my video is probably gonna have like a highlighted that portion, because
it's so cool. Yeah, I really recommend like looking into it. Like there's already like hemp bags that are out that are entirely made from hemp, and it's just amazing. And it's also like a lot of them are hand woven. So this just like, even that itself is so beautiful, because it's an artwork, you know? Like we get all these mass produced like JanSport backpacks that are just, it's ruining the environment. All this industry is ruining the environment. The pharmaceutical industry as well is in on it with the government, because they're benefiting off of hemp being, you know, lumped in with marijuana as this like drug, right? Especially like during the war on drugs era and Nixon and all that. So basically right now, like it would be so cool if it could become normalized, and it could just be something that is nice. That I feel like it's gonna happen. I just want it to happen now, but I know it's gonna happen.
Or you can start. It's coming, and it's gonna be like your name, and I want credits and everything, please, because I made you the thinking and all that. Don't forget about this interview. I'll be like, I know her. Like I interviewed her one time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to, because a lot of it is just like how it's portrayed, you know, and how we like intake the media and everything, like everything from like the music that we see, the movies that we watch, like everything. Correct. So, and man, it's just been portrayed so negatively when really it has so many benefits. Even as like for medical use, like it doesn't have to be psychedelic. It could be purely medical without like yeah, so it's just all this stuff that
there's a lot of stereotypes, stigmas,
yes,
especially with like older generations.
100%, yes.
But that's our job as like newer
Yeah,
generations. Well,
yeah.
you're younger than me, so
Yeah.
but in a way, like it's our duty, I think, or like to like the stigmatize. Is that how you
Yeah.
the stigmatize.
You know, I've been trying to use that word lately, and every time it sounds wrong, so I say decriminalize.
Yeah, decriminalize certain things, and marijuana is one of them, because I know like medical marijuana, like it's actually helpful, but like because of like a small portion of people who use it not for medical reasons, they were like, oh, you new generation just are excusing yourself from like using marijuana. Because in my days, kind of thing. Oh God, so they're like not validating what we're going through, but at the same time, like they're comparing their ideas to us. So like it's a whole thing that we have to fight. But in a way, without it sound like it's a fight, but more or less like let's midpoint and like have this civil conversation, because you might see me as a young person, but I'm the future of this world.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, even when I was presenting it today, like my professor, he's kind of older, so I was a little worried that he was gonna. I'm another reason why I really love like a lot of the art industry and like a lot of the professors, because most of them are so open-minded and they're just so open to like weird stuff, like the weirdest stuff. So I kind of knew like he's gonna be fine with it, but I still was like a little worried. So I was like ready to kind of be like, if he was gonna be like, no, don't do drugs, and I was gonna be like, sir, like it is not a drug, like let's get that straight right now. But he was actually so down, like he was so excited. He was like, yeah, that sounds so exciting, way better than space. And I was like, period.
See,
like, yes.
Even your professors have, what is it called, validate, or well, not validate, like have serve as support for your ideas and your like future thoughts.
Oh, I'm super happy.
That's so cool. I'm glad you're having like, it seems like despite the first, I don't want to say how many minutes we talk about
I know the first was so negative.
Negative comments about housing, or like not housing, but just like how this job might affect your mental health in a certain way, your social life.
Yeah.
There's so many like good stuff coming out of it.
Definitely,
like, I want to say more than half of our conversation has been like about cool stuff.
Yeah.
So if we're just gonna like talk about, summarize our conversation in a way. We talked about how housing, it's your second year, has been less stressful in certain ways, but more stressful in other ways, because as a returner you have like these expectations, but you know how to manage and how to like sleep better. Yet because of like the way certain positions are structured, you feel that
it's a good way of putting it.
Your supervisor, not your supervisor direct or the other one, but the ones higher up, see students as like just ID numbers and not faces, and that's something that should be like erased. So like the whole dynamic between RAs and pro staff gets better in a sense. Yeah,
I do want to say like some of them, I even talked to some of them today, and like some of them are genuinely so nice. It's just like, it sucks because it's just like only one or two could really like mess up the whole thing, and
they're naive really, of like how actually hands-on goes.
Yes, cool. And they just don't really care enough to like to just be like human beings and just like sympathize. Like it's like it's okay to fuck up, you know, like we're humans, and like this is a weird job, but I feel like that mentality is not as embraced this year as it was when I was a resident and I initially wanted to get into housing, because I saw, like, not to say that it was perfect, I know that, but I did kind of notice that there was like this sense of support that I kind of saw throughout. Did you know Juan? Because he was my first boss.
He's my mentee,
Oh my God, yes. He was really like, he was kind of one of the first people that I was like, oh wow, like your boss can actually like you, and that motivated me to do a better job, because like I want to make him proud, I want to like make him happy, I'm gonna keep the office clean, and like, so sorry I'm going on such a different tangent.
No, that's cool, because like in a way we kind of share that mentor, because Juan, as you know, he was gay, he was Latino, he was in higher education. So for me, seeing him in that position of power inspired me to go into higher education. So it's like I want to be the way he is to me, myself to other students. So the way the idea of like housing not having that Juan, or like not having multiple Juans this year, and because I don't know what word to use, because nobody's perfect. Juan has his flaws. We all have our flaws, kind of thing. But that sense of like the idea of like you have to fit in,
Yeah.
but against the idea of belonging, which is
Yeah.
one's like motive. Because for me, I
Yeah.
remember like he was like, you don't have to fit in housing. The whole idea that I want the environment to create is you, whatever color you are, whatever where you are, you belong here, and that's something that it seems based on your information it's kind of lacking.
Extreme.
Which I hope it changes. Maybe after you talk to your direct supervisor, maybe like goes little by little, get little by little kind of thing. You might see a change.
I might talk about it just a little bit, slowly, just kind of dropping that
Drop
little
the
hints
little,
in there.
little, so yeah.
Just kind of to hint, because I know even like I was an essay my first year.
Okay.
That's how I got into housing. My second semester, I got hired, and I saw like even on the wall. Like, even the office just had such a homey vibe to it. Like, they had Christmas lights up. And they had, like, a bunch of, like, funny, like, posters or sticky notes and, like, messages to each other. And, like, and they had, like, and that was, like, a 9-to-5 job. Because those people, the essays would really just clock in, clock out. So for them, it was more of, like, a, you know, it wasn't, like, an RA job where it's 24/7. But there was still this, like, so strong sense of community. And, like, I remember, like, he made them take like a personality test, and you find out like what kind of person you are, and like you get like a certain like colored paper with like other people, and like I just even
nice,
that,
the color test.
Yeah,
wow.
the color. Yeah.
He used that. That's so nice.
So even that, I was like, I think that's so. Like, that's just, I just love, that made me feel like I found my place. Like, I know where I need to work. Like, this is where I need to work. Yeah. Because, yeah, it was just, and one of my coworkers made me take the test, so then I put my name up there. Because they were like, okay, you can do it. You're cool.
That's funny.
So, yeah, definitely, like, I feel like, unfortunately, sometimes it is the case that, like, if your boss is not so great, like, I feel like that really, like, really influences the way your mindset is about your work in general. Same thing with like coworkers and stuff, but I feel like I've definitely noticed where like, because I've worked in other places too, and like food, I've worked in like food service, which is horrible, but like my boss there was like, oh my god, I'm never going back. And then I had Juan, and I was like, this is heaven. So again, I digress. So
no, it's that's totally cool with me. In a way, I feel my way of seeing this, like in general, not just your example. Sometimes you're not always gonna have like the perfect supervisor or like have the perfect work environment kind of thing. However, everything it's a learning experience. For me, if I get an excellent supervisor such as Juan, I learn whatever I want to learn from Juan. If I get a bad supervisor, I will learn what I don't want to be in. Maybe for him or for her it works, and maybe other people appreciate the way the supervisor is. But in a way, you're learning what you want and what you don't want in life, and then like combine those two, and that's who you are as a baby supervisor in the future kind of thing. Right. So
that's a really smart way to look at it. Actually. Like make the most out of any situation.
Exactly.
In every
like
situation.
Yes, you can complain. Yes, you should complain because you have to like let that out. And it's cool that you have your boyfriend and your other friend who are completely dissociated with the housing cost, and all that stuff to help those people to like talk about that. But at the same time, you also have your coworkers, like you mentioned her name, Anna. That she's like in a way your RA mentor. Because she's not only your friend but also your coworker. You can like talk to her about that, and she will be relating to that. And then you have your professor and your friend who support your idea of like decriminalize marijuana, like the idea they're encouraging your like creative side and professional side at the same time. So yes, life is not perfect. Yes, you're gonna like have bumps here and there. That's retweet. Let's not too bad. But if you like take 2 steps back and look at the bigger picture, you're gonna see all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, all the things in between. And you're gonna see that it's worth it. That sometimes those little do I really have to wake up 8 in the morning today to go to the meeting? Yes, because you might meet an RA who's gonna be next year, and then you never know. Like they're gonna like may look at you and be like, remember last year when I was in your interview, and then you're gonna be like, oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember
oh,
you.
yeah. Oh my
And
god.
then you're gonna be their mentor for them, or you're gonna
Yeah.
find a new friend on them.
Yeah.
So it's try to like look at the good side and everything, but
Yes.
don't invalidate your feelings of pain
Thank
and
you.
suffering, because
Yes,
you
thank
have
you.
to like take care of your mental health. And if you feel sad, embrace that, and then like talk to someone and try to work how do I move from here on,
Right, and grow from this
and grow from there.
experience, yeah.
Exactly.
You're so wise.
I'm a grad student.
Oh my god.
No, it's a learning process for me, for everyone, for my professors, even I don't know. We all learning. You never stop learning, and the moment you decide that you don't want to learn, you cannot plateau, because perfection doesn't exist.
Right.
And I feel like you always learning, no matter what. Like today, I learned about this project that I'm like amazed by
Dang,
that. So I'm like, yeah,
yes, so
let's
happy.
partner up. Let's like make a campaign.
Let's make it work. Yes.
So yeah, I'm really happy for this. Did I miss any details about our conversation or something to summarize it?
That was a really good summary. Yeah. Wow.
Good.
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember anything. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm really glad we were
yeah.
you let me enter you today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
thank
this
you.
meeting. Well, that's the end of it. And I'll talk to you soon.